it's one of the most important things I learned in college. It's how to write lists. Like when you're doing an independent study, you need to be organized to write lists. So when I was about to graduate from college, I was like, what do I do next? It's like, man, I don't know, I'll have a couple beers and write a list. So I started writing the list out, and it was treasure hunter. I researched schools in Florida to go down to get trained in underwater videography and whatnot, but because I love the ocean, that's why I ended up at the Cape. But I thought, no, it's not quite the right match. I love music too much, and that's what I majored in college. So I was blown away by the difference with handmade guitars to factory-made guitars. My teacher in college had said, you need a better instrument. And I said, oh, it's all the player, isn't it? The instrument doesn't matter that much. And he said, you got a lot to learn. So he let me borrow a fine handmade instrument by Manuel Velasquez, a great maker. And I was absolutely blown away by the difference of a handmade instrument and the sophistication, elegance, and beauty of the soul of the instrument and its effect on the player. So my parents got me that instrument as a graduation present, and I was just, when I was writing that list, I was also realizing, wow, what a difference instruments can make. So on that list, was make guitars. For me, I just try all these different patterns. The most interesting part of the guitar visually is on the inside. Things like the rosette are beautiful as well, and each piece of wood can look like a landscape painting, very beautiful, but the bracing patterns are what control the vibrations of the soundboard, and that's, I think, the most fascinating part in what I'm doing is trying new patterns rather than traditional fan bracing, like some of the bracing systems from my earlier guitars. The first 50 instruments, very traditional. I was just exploring the great makers of the past. Now I'm using patterns that are based on fractals, mystical geometry, engineering in nature, and patterns that just sort of appear in my mind's eye that I become curious about. Inside here is a 6-pointed star. When I went on my honeymoon in Granada, Spain, the 8-pointed star and 6-pointed star were ubiquitous in the Alhambra and in Spanish architecture. So when I came back, I tried one of these mystical geometry patterns and named the guitar after Dara, the river in Granada. M.C. Escher's work is so beautiful to me because behind it there are these beautiful geometric patterns. When I was young, I really enjoyed M.C. Escher's illustrations. And at the root of it, there are a lot of these patterns that are found in Moorish tile work and art. And this is the base of a lot of fractal geometry, repeating patterns that keep getting smaller or larger, how you look at it, and mystical geometry. And I'm using these patterns in here to control the vibrations. And so I think of each instrument as an exploration, like putting a telescope out looking for some new planet. So all of these are subtly different, and I use science in some ways, weighing things, charting the resonances. That's some of the basic stuff, but what I think is really the most beneficial method is using your intuition and not overthinking things, not letting science lead your design, rather using your intuition and tuning out. I do envision myself, being small or the guitars being huge. Imagine this as a desert landscape, and there's this strange object that's lying on the sand, and only this big, and you come up to it. And I think by using these sort of imaginative exercises, it can help you appreciate the beauty and make sure that the details are all carried out beautifully, so that you execute the craftsmanship. A great maker, Thomas Humphrey, told me one time that the builder has a sound, and that it's just inherent in a builder's relationship with making instruments that they'll have a path, they'll have a sound. And it's amazing that people will try the same design of other makers, whether it's a violin or guitar, and get quite a different sound. So I think part of it, again, involves intuition, that a maker strives for a particular sound. In my case, I want an exciting, powerful, robust, colorful, dynamic sound. I want to create incredible crescendos through my instruments. I want it to have the possibility to build, and shock the player and the audience with the dynamic capabilities and the range of colors. So as a maker, when I strive for this voice in my instruments, my design starts shifting to deliver that. So my personality, therefore, ends up coming out in the instruments. I do then adjust them individually for the specific player. For example, if a player wants a very fast response, I can adjust the soundboard thickness and bracing pattern to deliver the characteristics that they would look for in an instrument. So I am making musical portraits of the players by listening to them and loving the music they make and combining it with what I look for in an instrument. So in the late 90s, I had too much tequila and drilled a hole in the side of a guitar and started playing it, and was amazed by the difference. And then I put duct tape over the hole, and I knew that something was... that the sound is more open and free and beautiful with the hole in the side. So I started experimenting with it. And now I've built over 100 instruments with it, and now it's taking off. Now all sorts of people are using it, and it's just a matter of time until large-scale guitar manufacturers are using it, because I think it's part of the evolution of the instrument. My system has magnets surrounding the portal on the inside, so that you can close the door using this portal door that has a thin sheet of metal in it. So you can close it, so that if the player wants to hear themselves better, they can open the door. But if they're playing a duet with someone who's playing quieter, they might want to turn down their own volume. So then I'm sure I'll slow down with my building a little while. Now I'm going at just flat out as fast as I can build, and that is 3 batches of 8 guitars a year, which range in price from $8,000 to $35,000. And my business model is completely my own, and it's based around karma. And people have said, raise your prices, you can raise your prices. Wait, you know, 8,000? That's, you know, student pricing. And I said, well, I don't want to outprice the students because I enjoy building for the students, and they keep me excited about what I do. I don't want to just build for collectors and star performers, even though it's a thrill to build for either, especially the stars. But I really enjoy working with up-and-coming talent. It's a beautiful lifestyle. You wake up, have coffee, give the dog some treats, read the paper, maybe play a little guitar, hop in my old car and zoom around, pass by the water, checking the wind direction and how high the tide is, trying to figure out when would be good to go fishing and where, judging from the wind direction. Then come to the shop, check the email, and then start working on the list. Usually meet up with friends for lunch. Then after work or, you know, after playtime, see my lovely wife, go to the houseboat, go swimming, then go home, have a glass of wine, write my list, and who knows, either read, watch a movie, just hang out, or visit with friends. But it's a beautiful lifestyle, and at the heart of it's the guitar.
Wow.
Visualizing sound, I think, is such an important component of building instruments. And, what I think of is each note as an orb that travels out of the instrument into the room and then just goes up into the sky and into infinity and just keeps going. Like there's no friction or resistance. It just, and all of my instruments out there are making these orbs of sounds that just go into the universe. Thank you.